Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today I'm going to make sweet and simple corn muffins. But before I do this, I'm monetization. YouTube told me I set it up. It probably will take a month before it comes through. Now the shorts will always be public, but when it comes to the videos will be for membership only. Just letting you know that ahead of time. I don't know when this will happen. It might happen in about a month, I guess, or longer. It just depends upon how fast they get things running. I don't know how they're going to do it. I would normally say paperwork, but I don't know if they do paperwork anymore, so I can't answer that. But anyway, let's get these started. You're going to have to grease a standard size muffin pan cup so you can line them if you wish. Also, you're going to have to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Excuse me 1 minute. Okay, now these sweet and simple corn muffins that we're making are very unusual, so don't think they're your regular corn muffins that you're looking forward to. It's not going to go that way this time. We need 1 1/3 cups of cornmeal. All right, I took everything out, Sandra. Now you know, yeah, I took everything out this morning. Now I'm going to put this in a bowl. The stuff that I'm telling you right now, we're putting into a bowl. You don't have to see me putting it into a bowl. Okay. Now this is going to be your larger bowl because we're going to put the liquids in a smaller bowl, so make sure that you use the larger bowl because you're going to be pouring the liquids into the dry ingredients. All right, now to this we are going to add 2/3 of all-purpose flour. 2/3 of a cup. Make sure you use the proper measuring cups. The ones that are like this, level. The ones with the spout are for the liquid. All right, we need 1/2 cup of sugar. We need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So I'm going to be letting you know on every video. Oh, a membership. I love that idea of making a club. And do you know I can play quizzes with you? I was shocked. I was reading up because this stuff has been coming up on YouTube that I can also play. We can have quizzes on things. And I said, oh, this is great, because I like to interact. So I thought that would be very interesting. I didn't know all of this you could do. So this is all new to me, and I'm sure I'm going to make a ton of mistakes trying to figure it out. I just hope you write it out with me, because I am not computer savvy, as they say. Give me a book. I'm much better with books. That's why I don't use the Kindle on, I think it's Kindle. Is that what it's called on Amazon? That you can buy and they push it through the computer. I can't get that thing to work. I don't know how to work it, so I just say, just send me a book. I'll just give me the book. I'm better off at that. You need 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now, if you have the old-fashioned measuring cups, just take, measuring spoons, I mean, just take your 1/4 and just fill it half full, and you'll have 1/8. Because 2/8 equal 1/4. I told you math was my thing. And we're going to add 1 tablespoon of wheat germ to this. They didn't fill this up. Okay. See, I knew I was going to forget something in the spoon. Now you're going to mix all of this up. Just to prove to you, I put it all in one bowl. Take this bowl and put it to the side. We're going to be working with the liquids now. Now see, I knew I would forget something no matter what I do. See, my butter is frozen, so I needed a knife, and I forgot I needed my knife to cut it in half because we have to melt a whole stick of butter. But I'm putting it in such a small pan, the whole stick wouldn't fit in, you see? So I knew I was going to have to cut it, but I forgot to get it out. We're going to melt 1 stick of butter. And for people who buy butter in the lump, it's a 1/2 cup. See, my grandmother would just go to the general store. It wasn't called the grocery store or the corner store. It was called the general store, and that's where she went shopping. And she would sit there and say she wanted a couple pounds of this, and he would wrap that up for her. And then she'd say coffee, and he'd put it in a bag. Well, it's actually brown paper, and he folded it up, and he taped it. And then she'd say the flour, he did the same thing, and that's how she brought her groceries home. She didn't buy many because most of it she grew herself. So I didn't see her buy a lot of things. We need a 1/2 cup of milk. You know, I'm going to use my discard. I don't want to use the milk. I'm going to use discard because I got too much. If you have a sourdough starter and stuff, and you have excess that you think about throwing out, you can just use it in place of the milk here. But people who don't have it, it's a 1/2 cup of milk. Okay, I'm going to need a bigger spoon to stir this down. And I always stir my discard because you'll see a little fluid floating on the top. That fluid is important. So don't throw it out, just blend it back in. I'm going to be filling this up. I can see my yeast started rising, so I'll leave that out. Okay, we need 1/4 of a cup of maple syrup. I told you these are very unusual. I wonder how a maple syrup apple pie would be. You have to admit it sounds good. All this is being put in the liquid bowl that I told you about. If you don't believe me, it's right here. Okay, I going to keep that there. We don't need these anymore. These are gone. We're just waiting for the butter to melt. Now you're going to add 2 eggs into here. Don't worry, the butter's going in here too, but we got to beat these eggs and stuff because the butter's going to be warm. Most people will let it sit till it's cool, but you don't have to. You know how to do this. Now, what is the sourdough culture going to do? Discard? It's going to give it a slight twang. It'll be sweet with an underlining slight twang taste to it. Sourness, if you wish to put it that way. You don't need these anymore. Don't worry, we're coming down to the end of this. Just waiting on my butter now. Now, when you're adding, you've already mixed this with the egg, but you're adding some very warm butter, which can curdle your eggs. So you start beating the eggs, the liquid, as you add this butter in. Not all the butter is melted, but I'm trying to get some of the butter. Okay, that's about all I can do right now. We gotta wait for the rest. Nah, I don't want to add any of that. Maybe next time around. They say you can take this recipe, I'm talking to you waiting for the rest of the butter. You can add 1/4 of a cup of corn kernels or toasted nuts or diced ham. I think it'd go good with the toasted nuts because this is what we're going to have for breakfast are these muffins. Well, for them, they won't be having them for breakfast because knowing them, they're going to snack on them all day. And one will come in from work and that's when he's going to have it. See, this is what aprons are for us to wipe our hands on. Okay, like I said, we got all our liquids together. Don't need that anymore. I'll read the cooking time in a minute. We don't need it right yet. This is where everybody makes their mistakes and their muffins flop unless there's something wrong with the recipe. So I'm going to show you. I talk, though you'll probably say she said it enough times, but there's new people and they're not sure, and then this is why I'm going to be showing you. Now they always sit there and they're very good. This is how they write this stuff in a recipe, not explaining very well, but what they sit there and say, make a well in the center, add milk all at once and toss with a fork until dry ingredients are just moist. That's that part that kills everybody, until dry ingredients are just moist. And this is where people make mistakes all the time. They say, yeah, I can make a well. Yeah, I can do this. Why don't my muffins come out? Sometimes it's the recipe and it's not you. All right, we're making the well. I should design it up. Make it look hilly, right? Now, does that look like if you're a little person, you'd be climbing up the hill and marching around? Okay, you've beaten all your liquids together. We are going to pour it in the center here. Here's where everybody makes the mistake. You're going to toss, you go on the edge, and you're going to toss it in. And you're going to stir this. That's it. You're going to say, but it's not mixed. That's right. That's how they want it done. You're not going to mix it all the way. If you do, they are going to be over mixed. But this is what they mean when just moist. Mine are barely moist, as you can see, correct? You're probably saying, they're not even mixed all the way yet? Yes, I can understand that. So see, you really don't mix them all the way. That is the trick. When I made muffins at first, everything was flat. I said, how do you get it up? What was that trick, you know? I couldn't remember the trick. But then I finally remember there were just so many tricks I had learned. Sometimes one gets past you at times and you sit there and say, what was it? I don't hide what I've done, you know. I've made my bloopers. I've been trying to make ice cream and adding powdered milk to it. It leaves a funny taste, and I just don't think there's anything I can do except make ice cream the way they make ice cream, but I tried. But I figured if I could add the powdered milk to it, it'd be extra calcium, because I add a lot of powdered milk to stuff. You're probably saying, well, we haven't seen it recently. Well, I don't have much in the house, that's why you're not seeing much of it. It's quite expensive. I mean, it's really been going up in price. How high do you want it to go? People usually say how low, but this is like, how high? When is it going? The price going to come down? Never, probably. Now, you do muffins like that, any kind of muffin you have. That is the standard way of making muffins. Now, if you add nuts and stuff, I would recommend you adding that to the flour and getting them coated so they'll be suspended throughout the muffins and not sink to the bottom. So if you're going to add nuts or something to this, when you put the dry ingredients together, make sure that you sit there and put the kernels and stuff into the flour first before you add the liquid. Toss it around. Once they're coated, flour will stick to flour, so that dough recognizes flour around the kernels. It will hold onto it, and then you have the muffins suspended, the corn kernels suspended through your muffins. But they won't sink to the bottom. Now, these should bake for 20 minutes. Oh, that's easy. I can figure that time out. Okay. Then we're going to transfer it to a wire rack to cool slightly before you turn them out. Because remember, they're not quite done. That dough is still very moist and can collapse on you if you take it out too soon. This is why you have to leave them about 5-10 minutes in the tin to set, and then you can take them out without any problems. So every time I do a video or I do live, I'm going to be reminding you that the recipes, when they get done doing the monetization and setting the whole thing up, you have to click the subscribe and click the join button so you'll be able to see these recipes. I don't know when they're going to do that or how long it's going to take, but they say to tell you. So I'm doing what they're telling me to do because they seem to know what to do better than I do. I know how to cook, but I don't know how to run computers, okay? So I'll see you when those are done. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. You're actually here while I'm trying to make everything. I've got my cultures, I'm feeding them right now as well. Now these muffins don't rise as high as other ones because of the combination, but see, they did rise. You can still see it. They mound, and that's what you want. If they mound and it comes up on the side like this and come in and then come up, you've overbeaten them as well. So you have to be careful. Now they're going to have to sit a few minutes before I try it, and we'll see how they come out. Let me go ahead and finish feeding my cultures. I got one more and I will be back in just a little bit. Okay, now you can see a better look how the muffin came out, one of them. I'm going to show you the texture because these were most unusual. Sometimes when you have an unusual recipe, people are a little leery. How does it taste? And because this one has cinnamon with the cornmeal and some other stuff, we're going to see how it comes out. Now I know mine's going to have a slight twang because I added my discard instead of milk. But I will show you the texture of them. Look at that texture. You can't tell me that looks bad. And because we put maple syrup, we're going to see how this tastes. By the way, they say sweet butter. When they say sweet butter, they mean lightly salted butter or cream cheese. I'm going to have cream cheese with mine this morning. Oh my God. This is delicious. You're not going to believe it. It's going to be better than any cornbread you ever thought of. I do hope you try this one. You will be shocked. I'm going to go put some cream cheese and get another one. I'll see you. Enjoy your day. And listen, if you find these videos interesting and helpful, by all means, if you wish to help, you can sit there and tell your friends about it and introduce them to America's home cooking. We all work together, we all cook together, and we all learn together. So take care, enjoy your day. Bye-bye.